Hello guys and welcome to module 9 of graphical user interface photo editor project. This project or this app will have the following features enhancements. Number one, it will have a better undo and redo functionality to implement a stack based approach to track multiple changes. It also have adjustable blur intensity, in which it will allow users to set the blur strength via a slider. It will also contain background removal with transparent, which will use the OpenCV to improve background removal. And number four, we're also going to embed it as AI-based background replacement, which will implement automatic background removal with a solid color or another image. Number five, we'll have filters, which will add a predefined filters like sepia, grayscale, and negative. Number six, we'll have color balance and saturation, which will include sliders to fine-tune colors. Number seven, we're going to include histogram equalization, which will enhance contrast using OpenCV's, that is a CV2.equalizer function. Number eight, it is a batch processing, which may allow applying the same effect to multiple images. And finally, number nine, it will have a file type conversion functionality that will enable save images in different formats like PNG, JPEG, BMP, TIFF, among other images. So guys, I hope you'll enjoy this project. This is our first project, and we're going to show you how this stuff looks like in VS Code. So see you. So this module, in summary, builds a graphical user interface photo editor with AI features using OpenCV library and tkinter. So it will include professional editing features tools, advanced undo and redo functionality, AI driven background removal, and batch processing capabilities. So some feature enhancements are listed below. One is that it will have better undo and redo functionality, which will implement a stack-based approach to track multiple changes, and it also have adjustable blur intensity, and this means it will allow users to set the blur strength via a slider. It will also have a background removal with transparency. So we will use OpenCV to implement the improvement of background removal, and it will also have AI-based background replacement, in which you will have to implement automatic background removal with a solid color or another image. It will also have some filters inside our app, that is, will add predefined filters like sepia, grayscale, and negative. We will also have color balance and saturation, and this will include sliders to fine-tune colors, and we also have file type conversion, in which we have to save images in different formats like PNG, JPEG, BMP, TIFF, and more. So to begin, we have some libraries to import as follows below. So we'll have to import tkinter as tk, and remember, tkinter is used for creating, or will be used for creating, the graphical user interface such as buttons, windows, dialogues, among others. So from tkinter we need to import file dialog, ttk, message box, color chooser, among others. So this tk enter, as we said, it will be used for file dialogs, widgets, message boxes, and color picking. So from peel, we also need to import image TK, image filter, image enhance, and image ops, as well as image draw and image font. So remember, peel or pillow library is used for opening, editing, and saving images, and the common formats for images include JPEG, PNG, among others. We also need to import CV2 from OpenCV. So for advanced image processing, such as background removal, transformations, among others. So we also have to import numpy as np, and numpy will be used for fast mathematical operations on images, such as matrix manipulations, filters, among others. We also need to import OS or operating system for file and directory management, such as saving files, accessing files, among others. So, and from datetime, we need to import datetime. So datetime will help us in working with dates and times, e.g. Adding timestamps to file names. Now we need to create our class for our main photo app. So class photo editor, our main class for photo editor app. So we need to define a method with self and root parameters, and self.root will be root. So this means that the TK interroot window instant, and self.root.title, this will be the title of our photo editor app as AI Photo Editor Pro. So it will set the title of the application, and self.root.geometry 1200 by 800 pixels. This will set the initial window size, and self.root.main size 800, 600. This one will set the minimum size of the window. Now guys, before we proceed, I have a lot to cover. Let me give you a hint of what we want to build looks like. This is our final application that we aim to build. So it has open button, save button, undo button, redo button, blur button, grayscale button, sepia button. Remember, sepia is just making your image look like it was taken a long time ago. A negative or negating your image. We have background removal. You can also set the BG. We can reset everything we've done. We can reset saturation. We can also set brightness. And this is the details that we will just have to input here. So let me just have some a small demo. Like, let me open my image, and let me have the image called person, and this is the image that has been opened. So we can do a manipulation like blurring our image. So by default, this is the slider that is set for blur. Let me just click. You see it has been blurred. So if I again click blur again and I click, so you realize the same scale or the same intensity is being applied consistently. And now again I can undo and realize that I have my original image. So let me again blur, and now again let me adjust my slider from what is set as default, and now you realize that a lot has been hidden. So, and let me undo. Now we can apply the grayscale to our image. For example, you realize that our image turns black and white, and I can still undo. Again, you can turn it to sepia. so it means that long time ago. So I still can undo. Let me negate our image. So if I negate my image, look how it looks like, as well as let me undo what I've just done, and let me, what else? Let me now remove my background. So it will take some time to remove the background. Yes, realize that the background is dark now. Yeah, because this is our default background. So now I can set a new background, and you realize that this window opens up. So I can choose my background. I love blue colors, so I just click OK. So you realize the background color turns blue. So there is much that you can do to modify this image even more. And now we can also set brightness, for example. You realize everything has been lost, so we can reset and realize that we have our original image. We can reset the saturation again, saturation level, and you realize that yes, we can still reset. So we can still save our image, and it gives us where to save the images. Yes, exactly, this is what we want to build, guys. I hope we are going to enjoy this one. Now guys, let me try to run our project now by a photo editor app.py, and I run. You realize that there's nothing that is shown because we're just starting off. Now the next section, we want now to build the root. So which means that we want to build our background or our blueprint, so that whenever we run the image, we need to have an output, not just a blank screen. Yes, so stay along as we build the root of our application. Now guys, let us build our root. So if underscore name is equal to underscore main, so this checks if the script is now being run directly and not imported from somewhere else. So we need to set our root as tk.tk, and this will create the main window, which means when we run our object, or when we run our project, we'll have the window displayed. And we need to try tk.tk. We need to call now the source azure/azure.tcl. So this is the source that loads the theme file from azure.azure, and root.tk.call, we need to set the theme as dark. So as you saw, our main screen was dark, so which means we are setting the switches to appear to be dark. And now we need to pass if there is any error, like if the theme file isn't found. So we just need to ignore and proceed. And now our app will be app is equals to photo editor root. So this will create an instance of the photo editor application, passing the main window, that is root, to it. And now root.main loop. So this means that we need to start our application event loop, and this keeps the window open and waits for user actions. So guys, I realized that I forgot semicolon is the full colon here, that's why getting this error, so I've fixed it. So now guys, this is the root of our project. Now if I run py photo editor app.py, And now you realize we have our window. Our window is here with the title AI Photo Editor Pro. So this is the, let me show you where we had that. Yes, it's here from first instance that we created, our from our first method. So we created an AI photo editor as the title. So let us continue to create more other methods to make sure that we meet our objective. Now guys, let us have the image handling section. So self dot original image is equal to none. This one will store the original image are used for undo purposes, and self dot current image will be none. So this will store the current image being edited, and self dot history will be an empty list, and this is undo will undo the history and will be limited to 20 states to allow for undo. So and self dot redo stack will also be an empty list, and this is a redo history stack to enable the redo functionality, as well as self dot tk image will equal to none. So which means that we'll hold the tk inter image object for displaying on canvas, as well as self dot zoom level will be 1. Now guys, let us create UI components. So self dot configure styles will be equal to the method to set up styles for user interface elements like buttons and labels, and self dot create toolbar. This means that it will be the method to create the toolbar, such as buttons for actions like opening and saving of files, etc. And self dot create canvas underscore frame. So this one is the method to create the canvas for displaying the images, and self dot create underscore saturation bar or status bar will be the method to create the status bar, like displays displaying the image size, zoom level, among others. And self dot bind shortcuts will be the method to bind keyboard shortcuts for quick actions such as Ctrl Z for undo, among others. And we'll also have self dot show welcome image. This one will initialize with welcome image and will display a default welcome image when the app starts. So now guys, I want to tell you something, that we've now configured all our instances from creating root image or root window, title, geometry, minimum screen size, original image size, the current image, the history, the redo stack, the image, the TK image, the zoom level, and configuration styles, creating of toolbars, and creating of canvas frame, creating of status bar, as well as binding shortcuts and showing the welcome image. Now all these are instances. Now from these instances, now we want to create the methods for us now to be able to run our program. At the moment, if I try to run this program, I will get an error. For example, if I run py, can type well py photo editor app.py, and if I hit enter, I realize I'm getting an error that I'm getting an attribute error here. Several attribute errors. Attribute error. Photo editor object has no attribute configure style. So we need to create those instances. The same way here, photo editor root create instance, it gives an error. So we need to create these instances now in form of methods. So let us proceed. Now guys, let us define our configuration styles. So self, so this one will configure the TTK styles for the application, and styles is equal to TTK dot style, and this will create an instance of the styles class to modify widgets styles, and style dot configure t button comma padding is equal to 5. This one will set the padding for all t buttons, and styles dot configure toolbar dot t frame. This and background will be this color code, and which means the background will be set with toolbar, and style dot configure status dot t label, and the person background as the same dark color, and relief as sunken, padding 5. So this style, it is the style for status labels. Now guys, let us continue creating our methods. So we want to create the toolbar method with self parameter. So this section will create the main toolbar with editing controls. So toolbar is equal to ttk dot frame, and self dot root styles will be toolbar dot t frame. I know you can't see my screen, but padding is equal to 10, and this one is that we want to create a frame for the toolbar with padding of 5, and toolbar dot pack, and we'll have some side as top, and we'll have to fill it with X, and this will pack the toolbar at the top of the window, stretching horizontally above. And we need now to create the file operation section. So file frame will be equal to ttk dot frame, and we'll take toolbar as parameter, and we'll create a frame for the file operations such as open and saving buttons. And file underscore frame dot pack will take as side will be left, and padding will be 5, which means that this will pack the file frame with padding. And ttk dot button will take parameter file frame, and text will be like open the file or the image, and command will be self dot open image dot pack, and side will be on left side, and padding will be 2. TK or ttk dot button will also take file frame, and text will be equal as save the file or just save, and it will be self dot save image dot pack, and side will be left, and padding will also be 2, which means this one will create the save button. And now we need also to create the editing operations section. So edit frame will equal to ttk dot frame toolbar. So this will create a frame for undo and redo buttons, and edit frame dot pack side is equal to left, pad is as equal to 5. So this means that the pack will pack the edit frame with padding as 5. So and tk dot button, and we'll take edit frame as parameter, and text will be undo. so to undo our previous operation, else we were creating a redo button. So tk.button edit frame and text will be redo. So I have a lot of that is hidden here, but I believe after the screening is okay, you'll have to see what I'm typing. So and the same stuff that happens that the same to and redo. So filters section follows. So filter frame as object will be ttk.frame, and we'll take toolbar as the parameters, and we'll have, this means that we're creating a frame for filtering buttons. And filter underscore frame dot pack will have argument aside, which will be left, and padding as 5, and this will mean that we'll pack the filter frame with padding, with some padding. So and ttk dot buttons will be filter frame, and the text will be, we need to blur, for example, blur the image, and this will command self dot blur image dot pack, and side will be left, and padding will be 2. So this blurs the button, and or it's a blur button. So ttk.button filter frame, and the text will be grayscale. So we need to convert our image to a grayscale, and command will be self.apply underscore grayscale dot pack, and side will be left, and pdx will be 2. So this will grayscale the image, will be the grayscale button, and ttk.button filter frame, text will be sepia, and command will be sepia.apply underscore sepia dot pack, side is equal to left, and pdx is equal to 2, and this is the sepia button to make our image appear as if it was taken back in the past. So ttk.button filter underscore frame will be text is equal to negative, which means we want to negate our image. So command is equal to self.apply dot negative dot pack, and side is equal to left, pdx is equal to 2. So we are making our image negative, or we're creating a negative button. And now some advanced features section follows. So adv underscore frame will be ttk dot frame, and person toolbar as our argument or parameter. So we create a frame for advanced features buttons, and advanced frame dot pack, side is the same as left, pdx is 5 this time, and we pack the advanced features as frame with padding. So and ttk.button will be we take advanced frame and text as the argument, so which means that we are removing the background of the image from the image that we provided dot, and everything remains the same setting. So we remove the bg from the image, and ttk.button will take the parameter as add advanced frame, and the text will be set bg. So after removing, now we need to set the background of our preference. So to continue working, yes, so my screen again is hidden, so we are just setting the button or the background of our image, or the remove background button as well. So ttk.button will take advanced frame, text will be reset. So now we want to make everything original as we had just found it before any changes. So moving on, adjustment section. So adjustment frame will equal to ttk dot frame and person toolbar. So we want to create now a frame for slider. And now we need also to adjust these frames. So we need to create the pack the adjustment slide. So and self dot sat underscore slider is equal to ttk dot scale, and we pass on the adjustment frame, and then we need to start from 0 all the way to 200, and orientation should be horizontal, and command we need to use lambda function with self dot change saturation. So we want to change saturation status from 0 to 200, and this is the saturation slider, or yes, you will just see after I will have to run. And self dot sat slider will set a slider at 100, so we set the initial value to 100, and self dot sat underscore slider will take a side as to be top and filter and fill as x as the argument. So this packs the slider in the frame. And ttk dot label you take adjustment frame and text as argument, and text we need to take saturation, so dot pack and side is equal to top. So this is the label for saturation slider. And set dot brightness, so we want to also set the brightness for image. ttk dot scale adjust underscore frame. So remember, we're just creating a slider for the brightness of our image if we want to adjust brightness for image. So this is how we change it. So remember, my screen is hidden again, you can't see. So we save. So this is the brightness slider. And now we also need to take initial value as 100, and so it means that we are setting initial value to 100, and self dot bright slider dot pack slide will be at the top, and we fill x, and this means that we are packing the slider in the frame as well. So on ttk dot label and adjustment, if you take adjustment frame and text as brightness dot pack, which means the button will be called brightness, and the label, this means the label for brightness, and self dot v scroll will be ttk dot scroll bar self dot canvas frame, and orient will be vertical, which means it will be vertical orientation. So, and we want to also create canvas for displaying the same image with scroll bar commands are linked. So self dot canvas will be tk dot canvas with self dot canvas and bg as this color code, and x scroll will be self dot, and y scroll will be also self dot v scroll. And we're also going to create the grid layout to arrange the canvas and scroll bars. So self dot canvas dot grid row will be 0, and column will be 0, and sticky will be new NC, and self dot v scroll or vertical scroll dot grid row will start from 0, and column will start at 1, and stick will be NS, and self dot h scroll dot grid will take row as 1 and column as 0, and sticky will be EW. And now we need to set the configuration for rows and column weights for resizing purposes. So self dot frame dot row configure will take parameters 0 and weight as 1, and self dot canvas underscore frame dot column config will take 0 and weight as 1 as parameters as well. Now let us bind the mouse wheel events for scrolling purposes, so up and down scroll, so along the canvas, and self dot canvas dot bind, so mouse wheel, and self dot on mouse wheel we need to have self dot canvas dot bind button 4, and we'll take lambda as self dot on mouse wheel up down, and and up will be true. So which means when we move the mouse will be able to move, the cursor of the mouse will be able to move. And self will canvas dot bind button 5 will be lambda self dot on wheel up, it will be false. So whenever someone is moving up, it will be false if someone press at the same time. Now guys, let us create the status bar method. So we want to create the status, in short, the status bar at the bottom of the window. So self dot status underscore bar, we take the parameter as self dot, I don't know why I'm getting this error, and self dot status bar underscore pack will get will be at the bottom, and also filling as X. And status label, we want to create the status label to show the general status of our application. So self dot status underscore label, it will take the parameters as so we also need to implement the information label to show the current image status, if it's loaded or not. So self dot status label, and to pack beside is equal to left. And again, my screen is hidden, but I hope you see the code. Self dot image equal to image info, and self dot status text will be no image found or no image loaded, and style will be status dot t label. And you can also create self dot image underscore info underscore label dot pack, and side will be right this time. I think I'm having these issues because I don't know where this character is coming from. Yes, I think that's okay. Now guys, again we're creating the bind shortcuts like Control Z among others. So we need to bind the keyboard shortcuts for user to use it effectively. So self.root.bind, for example, Control Z will be for undo, and self.root.bind Control Y will be for redo purposes, as well as self.root.bind Control S will be for save purposes. Remember now the usefulness of lambda function. Self.root.bind will be this one for Control O, which means we are opening the image, and self.root.bind Control R, which means we are resetting the image, and self.root.bind then Control plus, which means we are zooming the image, and self.root.bind and person Control minus, which means we are zooming out the image, and self.root.bind Control 0, and we take lambda's parameter and it will be self.zoom image 1.0, which means we reset the original image. Now let us continue creating other methods. And now we're defining the show welcome image. So we need to show a welcome image when no image is loaded. So welcome image is equal to image.new RGB with 80 for 800 by 600 and color as dark, in dark mode. And we need to draw. We used to draw function as image.draw welcome image and draw welcome image. So let us try. Font is equal to image font dot true type Arial dot ttf and font size of 40. So except font is equal to image font dot load default, and text will be AI photo editor, and it says that open an image to begin editing, and draw dot text with 100 and 250, and text font will be font and we need to fill as white. So and self.current image is equal to welcome image, and self.tk image will be image.tk.photo image and will be welcome image. So and self.canvas.create underscore image with 0 0 and anger will be NW, and image is equal to self.tf image. So this is what I mean. Let me display what is here. So from our original image, this is what will appear to the user when nothing is provided. So this is a prompt message that tells that this is an AI photo editor, and which means that it's telling the user to open an image to begin. So you click here, open to begin editing. But now we are not at this stage. We've just created this image, the default image you can see in dark mode and with white text, AI photo editor with this message or prompt message the user. Now let us define the updated status with self and message parameters. So we want to update the status by message, and self.status label.config text will be message, and self.root.update underscore id list. Let us define the update image info with self parameters. So we need to update the image information in the status bar. So if self.current image, so it's saying that if an image is loaded, then width and height is equal to self.current image dot size. So it will assume that we will get the image dimension that is loaded into the system, and model is equal to, or mode is equal to self.current image dot mode, which means that we will get the image mode, e.g. RGB or L, and self.image underscore info dot underscore labels dot config will take size, will take text and size as width times height. Again, my screen is hidden. Just a moment, we are going to see what I'm typing here, and self.image underscore image info underscore label dot config. Again, let me finish typing and you'll see the codes. And now let us define the save history function with, or method with self argument. So we're defining the save the current image state to history. So and if self.current image, which means if an image is loaded, we need to convert to RGB to ensure consistent formatting, and we need to copy it to avoid modification or modifying the original one. So image copy is equal to self dot current image dot convert RGB dot copy, and self dot history dot append, and we pass on the image copy as our argument. So we add the image state to the history stack, and now we want to limit the history stack to the latest 20 states. So if length self.history is greater than 20, then self.history.pop 0. So which means we remove the oldest state if history indeed exceeds 20 states, and self.redo stack dot clear. So we clear the redo stack since new history was created. Again, now we want to define the open image method with self parameter as well. Now we open an image file. So file types will be image files, and will be of these extensions, and all files. So we're defining the path of the file dialog. We need to ask where the files will be loaded from, and this means that we're opening the file dialog to select an image, and if path, so we need to try. We try self dot update status, and we need to, which means loading the image, for s dot path dot base name, and we pass on the path as, which means it's loading from that path. So we update the status to loading, and self dot original underscore image will be image dot open, and path as argument dot convert to RGB. So which means we open and we convert the same image to RGB format, and self dot current image will be self dot original underscore image dot copy, which means we create a copy of the image for editing, and self dot history dot clear. So we have to clear the previous history from our records, and self dot redo stack dot clear, and this one also clears the redo stack, and self dot save underscore history, and this will save the current history for the initial state of the image to history, and self dot zoom underscore level is equal to 1.0, which means we reset the zoom level in self dot show image. So we show the image to the user. Now we display the image to the user. Self dot update status, and say that loaded for s dot path dot base name, and path as a function. So which means that we update the status with the image file name, and self dot update underscore image info as a function. This one will update the image information in the status bar. So, and we can also reset the sliders for saturation and brightness. So we define self dot search slider dot set with 100 initial value, and self dot bright slider dot set as also 100, exception as we need to return the error. So message box dot show error, and we say that it failed to load the image, and pass on the exact error. So we show the error message. If loading fails to take place and self.update underscore status, we say it's ready. So we update the status bar to ready. After opening the image, now let us save the image. So save the current image to a file now. So if not self.current image, this means that if there is no current image, then message box dot show warning that no image to save. Else we need to return file types as so. This, yes, we need to define that all file types for saving the images are like PNG and JPEG. So it will take any case that the image from the user's machine is saved or was saved, and it will take argument as all files. And we need also to generate the default file name with timestamps in format of edited year by month and day, and default name will be edited datetime.now dot start time and this format dot png. We said png is our default image. Path is equal to file dialog dot ask save as file name. So always the user will save using the preferred name, but the default name will also appear. So the default will be .png, and this means that that is the image extension, and file type will be file type. So which means that all allowed file types will be the one that we've specified above, and initial file will be default name. So, and if path, which means that if a path is selected, then we need to try and update. So we set would update the status at saving image. So this means that we are updating the status to indicate that the image is being saved, and self dot current image dot save path. So we save the current image to the selected path, and self dot update underscore status, which means that saved for s dot path dot base name and path as a parameter or argument. So we need to update the status with saved file name, saved or file name, and except exception as error. So we need to show the message to the user that it was error. The program crashed while doing the operation. So error failed to save the image, and we pass on the error back to the user. So we need to show the error message, and self dot update underscore status ready. So which means that we are resetting the status again to ready. We need now to show the image back to the user. So let us display the current image on canvas. So if self dot current image, so if there is a current image, then we need to calculate the dimensions based on the zoom level. Width is equal to init or integer self dot current image.width times self.zoom level, and height will be the same int self.current underscore image.height times self.zoom level. And we need now to resize the image to the new dimensions. So the resized image will be self.current image.resize with width and height as parameters, and image.lang and self.tk.underscore image will be image tk.photo image and resize as parameter. So we convert the resized image to tk inter format. And now we need to update the canvas to display the resized image as follows. So self.canvas.delete all, so which means we are removing any existing images from the canvas, and self.canvas.create_image with 00 anchor as main w, and with image as self.tk image. So this is what we are doing. We're adding the resized image to the canvas, and you can also update the canvas scroll region based on the new image size. So we have self.canvas.config, and we pass on the scroll region as self.canvas.bbbox and all. So we want now to update image info in the status bar. So self.update image underscore info, and it is time now to define the zoom to zoom in the image. So zoom image self factor and reset with parameter. We reset is equal to false, so we are zooming in and out of the image. So if not self.current image, so if there is no current image, then we need to return if reset self.zoom level is the initial one, 1.0. So if reset flag is true, then we need to set the zoom level back to 1.0, else we need to self.zoom level times the factor self size guys. Let us define on mouse wheel method with self and event arguments. So this will handle the mouse wheel scrolling on operating systems such as Windows, Mac OS, among others. So if event.state and 0 times 1, this means that we need to shift key pressed horizontal scroll, and self.canvas.xview scroll -1 times event.delta flow division of 120 units, else we need to scroll it vertically. So self.canvas.yview scroll -1 times event.delta and flow division of 120 with units, and event at up function. So we need to handle the mouse wheel scrolling like on Linux and among other operating systems. So if event.state and 0 times 1, which means also still need to shift key pressed horizontally, and we need also to make sure that our direction is on negative side. if up else 1, and self dot canvas dot xview dot underscore scroll direction with units else, which means we need to do vertical scroll. Direction needs to be negative if up else 1, and self dot canvas dot y view scroll with direction as parameters and units. So let us define undo function with self parameter, and this will undo the last operation. So if length self dot history is greater than 1, which means that we will ensure there is at least the original image in history to undo. So self dot redo stack dot append self dot history dot pop. So we are going to add the last operation to redo stack, and self dot current underscore image will be self dot history minus 1 dot copy. So we restore the last saved image, and self dot show image, which means we are displaying the image to the user, or and self dot update underscore status, we undo the last operation. So this updates the status to indicate undo action. Now after undo, let us do redo function. So we want to redo the last undone operation. So if self dot redo stack, so if there are undone operations to redo, then self dot save history. So which means that we need to save the current state to history, and self dot current image is equal to self dot redo state stack dot pop dot copy. So we restore the last undone operation, and self dot show image, which means that now we show the final restored image to the user, and self dot update status, which means redo last operation, and which means we just update status to indicate redo action. Now let us define the reset method for our image. So we need to reset the image to original state, and if self dot original image, which means that we need to ensure that there is an original image to reset, and self dot save history, as a function we need to save the current state to history. Therefore self dot current image is equal to self dot original image dot copy. So which means we reset to the original status. So and self dot zoom level is equal to 1.0, which means we reset zoom level as original, and self dot show image, so we display or show the image back to the user, and self dot update status with the image reset to original as a message. So update status to indicate the reset is done. And now we need to reset the sliders for saturation and brightness to default 100. So self dot such slider dot set 100, and self dot bright slider dot. Now it's time now to define the apply filter function with self and filter func with some description. So to to describe this, we are just applying a filter function to the image. So if not self dot current image, then we need to ensure that there is an image to apply the filter to, and we need again to return self dot save history. So which means we save the current as stated before, apply the filter. So self dot current image is equal to filter underscore func self dot current image. So we apply the filter again. So show self dot show image, again we display the image back to the user. So self dot update underscore status will be that applied, then description, and description we discussed above, so which means applying filter function updated status to indicate filter is applied. So let me give you a demonstration here. As a demonstration, let me open our image as person. Then we need to add some filters like this one. Again, some filters. So this is what I'm meaning. We add some filters, and if we want to undo, this is what we do. And if we want to redo, which means we don't have something. So let me, for example, apply again filter, like apply, and then let me redo what has just done. So it will still keep the same stuff. And let me again adjust saturation. Yes, you see what's happening? I'm holding my slider, saturation slider, and you see what's happening? See what's happening? So I can reset the image back to original. Now guys, let us define some blur image function. This is where we want to apply the Gaussian blur to the image. So if not self.current image, so which means that we need to ensure at least there is an image to blur. We need to return self.save history, which means we save the current state before applying the blur. And now we need to create a dialog for blur level selection. So blur dialog is equal to tk dot top level self dot root, and blur dialog dot title will be select blur level, and blur underscore dialog dot transient will be self dot root as parameter. So we keep the dialog on top of the main window, and ttk dot label will be blur dialog, and text will be blur radius dot pack, and paddy is equal to 5, and label for blur this one will indicate the level for the blur. And we also need to create a scale widget for selecting blur level. So the blur level is equal to tk dot int var, and val will be 2, and ttk dot scale blur dialog, and from 1 to 10, so which means it will vary between 1 and 10, and variable will be blur level orient will be horizontal dot pack, and pdx is equal to 10. So guys, let me try to blur an image. Let me open our previous image, and the same, I called it person.jpg, and I can blur the image, and this is the minimum threshold I set. So I can say apply, So you see the image is blurred. So let me proceed. So if you don't choose the image, your background will be blurred by default. Again, let us define the apply blur function. So we need to apply the selected blur level. So self.current image is equals to self.current image dot filter, and it will have image filter dot Gaussian blur level dot get. So we need to apply the Gaussian blur. So self dot show image, which means we want to show the image back to the blurred image the user of which we've just shown, we've just seen. So blur underscore dialog dot destroy. So we need again to close the dialog and self dot update status applied Gaussian blur in radians blur level dot get. So we just updated the status, and ttk dot button with blur dialog and text as apply and command as apply blur dot back and padding is equal to 10, which means that this is the button. We click the button to apply the blur. Now define the grayscale function or method. So we want to convert the image to grayscale. So we have self.apply filter as with lambda function img as image ops.grayscale with image as argument dot convert to RGB. So we convert the image to grayscale and back to RGB. So the grayscale filter description. So we can open again our program, and I take the person, and now this is the grayscale I'm talking about, this grayscale. So I realize when I click on it, the image turns grayscale, and I can undo back to that. So I can grayscale again, and again I can reset to original. Now we want to define the negative method, which means we can negate our image. So we want to invert the image colors. So self.apply filter, and we simply want to invert the colors of the image. So the image ops.invert. So this one will invert the colors of the image, and negative, which means that we filter the description. So let me open my file as always. Person. Again, this is the negative button. So if I click, you realize that the person has been inverted. So let me reset and let us continue. Again, guys, let us now apply the sepia method to our image. So remember, sepia is making your image look like you took it sometimes back in the history. So define sepia filter with image as parameter. We need to define img is equals to np.array img. We need to convert to numpy array, and sepia image or sepia matrix will be np array. And remember, we need also to install or to import np for this to work. So define sepia tone transformation matrix as 393.0769 all the way to 272.0534 and 0.131. So sepia image will be cv.transform image, sepia matrix, and this will apply the transformation matrix. So sepia image will be np.clip and sepia image with 0 up to 255. This is just the color range, and clip values to validate the pixel range. And we need to return the image dot format array from array and sepia image dot as type and signed int age, and we need to convert it to an image. So self dot apply filter will take parameter as sepia underscore filter with sepia tone, and this simply means that we will apply the sepia filter. Now guys, let me demonstrate how sepia works. We open our image and sepia. We apply our sepia. We can see how the image looks like you took several years back. So this is what will be. Guys, it's time to define our saturation function with self and value and save our parameters. So we want to adjust the image saturation level. So if not self dot current image, so it means that we need to ensure that indeed there is at least an image in their current working directory to be adjusted. So if save, so we need to save the history if required, and self dot save history function, and so factor is equal to float with the value over 100. So we are converting the slider value to a factor. So Windows and enhancer object is equal to image enhance dot color and self dot current image. So self dot current image will be enhancer dot enhance and person factor. So self dot show image. So let us see how to enhance the image, to enhance its saturation. So person. So this is the saturation button, so we can increase the saturation level. You can also reset, or you can reduce the saturation. See how beautiful it turns out. Yes, can you imagine? Yes. Okay, this is what we do with saturation. Now guys, it's time to change the brightness. Having a change brightness function with self value and save our parameters. So this simply want to adjust the image brightness. So if not self dot current, so image, again the same, we need to have at least the same current, the image in our working directory. So, and factor will be float save value over 100. We need to enhance again to enhance our brightness, self dot current image, which means that we want to create an enhancer for color, and self dot current image is equals to enhancer dot enhance, and we pass on factor as our argument. So we apply the saturation change. So self dot show image, we need to display or show the image back to who the user is. Guys, let us see how we can adjust the brightness now for our image. So the brightness here, this is the brightness slider. So you can move to the left or to the right. So let us move to the left. You find the brightness is fading away. And if I move to the right, you find that the same happens. it is too bright. So move little bit to the left. Yeah, you find that a little bit. Yeah, the image is now okay. Now let us continue, guys. Guys, we are almost there. So let us look at remove background from the image function. So here, this function will remove the image background using a grab cut algorithm. So if not self.current image, again we need to make sure that we have to check if there is actual image in the working directory, and we need to return again. We need to have self.history. We need to save the history, or we need to save the current state for undo or redo function, and self.update status with removing background. This may take a moment, so we inform the user to be a little bit patient, and the process is ongoing. So again we try function to convert OpenCV into OpenCV format. So image into CV, you go to cv2.cv2 color np.array self.current image, comma self.color RGB, and we need to initialize mask and background, that is foreground models used in GraphCut. So mask is equals to np.zeros image cv.shape from 2 comma np. Unused int 8, unsigned int 8, and bg model is equal to np.zeros 165 np.float 64, and fg model is equal to np.zeros 165 np.float int 64. Again we need to define the rectangle to initialize the GraphCut algorithm with 10 pixel margin from edges. So height width is equals to image sieve.shape, and we start from position 2. We need to get the image dimensions, that's height and width. So rec for rectangular is equal to 10 10, and width is minus 20, height is minus 20 again. So we need to find rectangle. We need to apply the GraphCut algorithm with initial rectangle again, and with models and mask. So cv2 GraphCut img sieve mask rec and bt underscore model fgb underscore model 5 cv2.gb dot, and we need also to create a final mask foreground in pixels will be marked as 1, otherwise as 0. So mask 2 will be np dot, where mask is equal to 2, given mask is equal to 0, comma 0, 1 as type, unsigned integer 8. Applying the mask to the image to remove the background now follows below. So result is equals to img sieve dot o times mask 2 and np dot news axis. We need to also convert the result to RGBA format to add transparency. So, and this will create an alpha channel. So RGBA is equals to cv2.ctv color and result cv2 color RGBA, and RGBA is equals to this function. So self.current image will be image.format array RGBA self.show image again self dot update status background removed. So we need also to catch some error, exception as error. So we need to have message box dot show error. So failed to remove the background in case it fails. So self dot update underscore status, which means it's ready. So guys, it's time to display our image. Guys, let us again open our image and try to remove the background. So the background is here, remove background with this scissors button, and you see it is responsive when you hover the cursor. So I just click on remove BG. So it will take a moment to remove because it is using some algorithm. So you realize that the background has been removed. So let us proceed. Again guys, it's time to set our own custom background after removing the BG. So we need to set a custom background with our own preferred color for transparent images. So we need to check if the current image exists and is in RGBA mode to support the transparent. So if not self.current image or self.current underscore image dot model or mode is not equal to RGBA, message box dot show info comma please remove background first to make it transparent. So we shall see with an example, and we also need to define our color object as color chooser.ask color. So the user will be able to select the color from the defined grid. So if color is position 1, which means that it will give us a hex string. So BG color will select from that. Now we need to create a solid background. So BG image is equal to bg.new RGBA and self.current image.size, comma bg color. And we also have self.save history, which means we need to save the current image state for undo or redo functionality. Again, we need now to do what to do to have a composite with current image. So self.current image is equal to image.alpha composite with bg image comma self.current image as parameters. So self.show image, now we need to show the image to the user again, display the modified image, and self.update status with back or background say to now the background of choice. Now we inform the user about the new background. Let me take my image person and now click on remove BG once again. We realize that the background has been removed. Now we need to set our own BG. So let us set our own BG, and this time let me choose red. Let me choose another color. Maybe this time let me choose white. Okay, let me reset first and let me okay, you see the warning. So let me reset the image. Okay, let me remove background. So it will take a moment. Again, let me set the BT. So let me say white and click OK. So we realize the image is on white background. So we realize that some adjustment needs to be done on this image. So this is the future improvement of this application. That's why after this video I'll have to post the source code to my GitHub repository, and will have you to contribute to enhance the appearance of this image. I hope this helps. Guys, our application is over. Now, here are some project ideas you can work on next. Number one, we have a smart photo organizer that automatically tag and categorizes photos using AI. You can also have face recognition to group photos by people, and you can also have allocation based organization. And number two, you can work on social media content creator, like it will do batch process images for Instagram, TikTok, among others. You can also auto-generate captions and hashtags. Again, it can apply platform-specific filters and formats. And number three, you can do work on document scanner app, where it can detect and crop documents from photos, and it can also enhance text readability, and it can convert to PDF with OCR text recognition. And number four, you can also work on AI art generator, where it can style transfer between images. It can also do text to image generation integration. It can also do neural filters and effects. And number five, you can work on photo restoration tool, which means it can colorize old black and white photos back to the latest. It can also repair damaged or scratched images. It can also enhance low resolution images. And these are just some free tips here with one feature at a time, and gradually we will have to expand. I wish you all the best, guys. Please give us a like button and subscribe to our channel. See you in module 10.